Hi guys, so as we know, the Tories have been doing everything they can to distract from the failings of both Boris Johnson and Brexit. The latest stunt is the return of Imperial measurements, which has been ridiculed by both commentators and business leaders, who see it for what it is, a pathetic attempt to keep a small and ever-growing smaller section of society happy as they pine for the good old days. Here Paul Scully, the business minister, spoke to Kay Burley of Sky News about how this will add choice, but the idea itself was described as nonsense by the chairman of the supermarket chain Asda. First we'll hear from Paul.
Why do you want to bring back imperial weight measurements?
I think what we're doing, we're consulting. So this is the launch of a consultation. So it gives people choice, basically. We've not been able to, specifically sell in imperial measurements apart from a few limited examples. And this is something that not everyone will want to do, but it gives sellers and buyers greater choice. People still think about measure things in different ways. I have a combination of things in my head, I suppose, because of my age about, certain things I think in metric, certain things I think in imperial.
Okay. Is it not just, I suppose some might say, a sort of patriotic distraction from what else is going on at the moment?
No, it's something that we've been looking at doing for some time. I think it's fitting that we talk about the crown symbol, for example, that you described on pint glasses today. It's just a nice, I think it's a nice thing to do. But no, this will be something that we're announcing the consultation. We'll consider the responses as they come in. It's one of those things that just gives people greater choice now we've left the EU.
So the whole point here is that it gives choice. People use all types of measurements. They use metric for some things, they use imperial for others. For example, when you're talking about your height or your weight, you'll use imperial. When you're talking about putting petrol in your car, you'll use metric, obviously. But the idea, that's one thing. Okay, people can use whatever they want. But another thing is to ask suppliers or to ask supermarkets to do the same thing. And this was regarded as nonsense by the head of Asda.
Do you welcome a return to imperial measures, even if it's sort of optional? Do you think that's a good message for the UK?
The only polite word I can think of for your programme is, I've never heard such nonsense in my life. I mean, we have got serious problems in the world, and we're now saying let's go backwards. Does anybody in this country below the age of about 40 know how many ounces there are in a pound? Are we going to go down to the supermarket and say, I'll have £1.5 pounds, please, or are we at £1 4 ounces of this or that? We're doing it just to actually please a small minority of people who hark for the past. It's complete and utter nonsense, and it will add cost to those people who have to put it into place. I'm shocked. One thing having a crown on your pint glass, which is a bit of fun and a bit of nostalgia, it's quite another having a whole dual system of weights and measures.
So as he pointed out, one thing, it's a bit of fun having it on a glass. It's another thing having to implement it in a supermarket, for example, having products labelled pounds and ounces and at the same time in metric. Makes no sense. It's just an extra cost for businesses. And as he pointed out here, it's going to be added on to the product, which will mean the end consumer will have to pay more during a cost of living crisis. What is the point behind this? What is the motivation here? It's once again just to distract the public from the disaster of Brexit and the disaster of Boris Johnson. What better time to introduce it than during the Jubilee? People feel this nostalgia for the past, this nostalgia for the empire. Imperial measurement, obviously. This is probably going to be something that's going to go away after a few days or maybe even a week. We won't be talking about it anymore because it would have served its purpose. And Johnson and the Tories will come up with their next distraction, whatever that will be. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think about all of this. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.